J-Mill for Real presents the X's and Oh No's NFL podcast, Football Friday edition, with your co-host J-Mill and
Hey, we still don't have anything for me, so I'm gonna call myself the little Fuddrucker.
the little
Um,
Mudwaka. Oh, yeah, sounds so fun. We'll figure it out. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do a vote on a name sometime. Like we'll get like 5 or 6 good names for you in there, starting with the little Fuddrucker. And
um, yeah. So let's go. If you don't mind, I just want to throw this out the gate right off the top,
Okay.
because there's really not a place that we normally talk about it, and we're about to talk about the Thursday night game, which then leads into the Sunday games. I want to talk about last Monday night. How many games is appropriate for Davante Adams?
How many games did Myles Garrett get?
I do not remember, but here's the it should be more than Garrett though, right? I think Garrett got 4 games.
Well, it should be comparable to Garrett, because the reason why it should be comparable to Garrett, though Davante Adams did it to a common man, Garrett did it with a weapon.
Fair enough. I mean,
So
I just was like,
I think the force that is generated from Adams to a common cameraman on the sideline is probably the equivalent of the force of a Pittsburgh Steeler helmet to Mason Rudolph's head.
but the cameraman had more serious injuries than Rudolph did. Do you punish just the action, or do you punish also the outcome?
Well, I mean, if we're going by the NFL standards, then they punish just the action, because then they punish the outcome more than the action, because Melvin Gordon never got suspended for his DUI at all.
Well, if we're going by the NFL standard, I don't have it up in front of me, but do the Raiders play the Packers this year? Because that will be the game that they make sure he gets to play in.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's probably the one. Like I don't even know. Like the truth is, Mike Evans throws a punch at Marshawn Lattimore, gets 1 game. Willie Gay breaks a vacuum, gets 4 games. Myles Garrett gets 4 or 6 for assaulting with a helmet. That should be the comparable one to what Davante Adams did. But we know that the NFL thrives on inconsistency. Like you feel like this is either going to be a huge underreaction or huge overreaction on their part. And honestly, like the guy's pressing charges, so it's this is a misdemeanor offense. Yes or no? Okay, this is a misdemeanor.
Its maximum penalty is 15 days in prison.
Yeah, so it's really hard to think that, like, and I know we're going back for this, but Plaxico Burress did get a suspension for shooting himself in the foot. Like he didn't hurt anyone but himself. But
that's a long time ago. That's almost a decade. That's over a decade.
So and I get it. The NFL's changed a lot, and the most recent. So really, if Willie we're going by this being outside of the game because it didn't happen in the game. If Willie Gay is getting a 4-game suspension for destroying somebody's vacuum out of the game, so basically an act to control not hurting somebody gets an angry act used to not hurt somebody gets you 4 games, then Davante Adams should be gone for a minimum of 6.
Okay, yeah, and you know what? I could give you that and say that I'm completely okay with that. But I feel like we talked about this, so you know what I'm not okay with?
Well, what are you not okay with?
Thursday night football.
Yeah, Thursday night football in general, I'm just not okay with it anymore. Like, I like the last 2 weeks have been crap for games. Like, honestly, everybody, like, I don't know where people stand as far as like how bad you think Washington Chicago is, but that's 2 teams playing for top 5 picks who now both have 2 wins, so they're not even good enough to be to be bad to that level. Yeah, the Brian Robinson story is nice from last night, but to be completely honest, I, I got I got my little girl to bed halfway through that game because I just couldn't tolerate it anymore.
Yeah, I said it last week, kind of like half-heartedly.
Yeah.
Man, that was unwatchable.
And the
That
thing
was
that's annoying too is every single time I go to Hulu TV to pull Hulu Live to pull up the game, and I realize, oh crap, I can only watch this on Amazon Prime. And honestly, that's just starting to annoy me at this point. It
yep.
almost makes it to where any game that I don't care about on Thursday night, I'm gonna start not watching and just take.
Yeah, it's like why am I going out of my way for this?
Yeah.
When I could just watch the highlights tomorrow. And the highlights of last night's game, honest to goodness, what is it? A minute?
Is it even? Like
Because
honestly, like that game last night was all about Chicago driving up and down the field and unable to put it in the end zone when they got down there, unable to get points half the time when they got down there.
Yep.
And Carson Wentz just getting in his own way most of the game, unless of course he's going to throw a block on Roquan Smith, which, by the way, if you're Roquan Smith and you get that block from Carson Wentz, shame on you. Like Wentz pancaked Smith last night. That's the highlight of the game on the Brian Robinson touchdown run.
The only other question about last night's game was it a touchdown or not? How do you see it? Touchdown or no touchdown?
I didn't see the play.
Okay.
I was too focused on we're talking about the Robinson touchdown. I was too focused on.
No, we're not talking about we're talking about the one at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see the play. And
Yeah,
honestly, I by that point in time, I was so far checked out in the game. I really just don't care. And I know it sounds awful for a Football Friday show, but the NFL has done this to me, and I don't care at this point.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely there's a borderline call at the end of the game on a 4th and goal. It's either a goal line stand or Washington wins the game. Yeah, and I'm just not sure which way it actually went. But here's my thought about it. You gotta put flex schedule at the start of the year, too. Like, you just have to almost make it a thing that after week 1, the NFL reserves the right to flex any game. Because we knew last week, we knew 2 weeks ago, we've known that this game was going to be bad.
Oh. Well, was there a baseball game up against it last night?
No, the baseball game got rained out.
So that they got lucky that there was nothing up against it.
Baseball. I mean, I think at the end we're going to see there's probably a lot of people that did what I did and did what you did, just tuned out and said, you know what? Whatever else is going on in life or whatever else I can watch on streaming is going to be better than this.
Yeah, I mean, it was on in the background. I just got my daughter to bed, and then I played video games with my wife to finish off the game. We picked up our Switches and we played Temtem together. So,
unfortunately this week no one in the game, so we got to wait till 12:30 to watch football.
You said unfortunately, and I'm kind of like, yay, I get to sleep a little more.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I prefer the no London schedule because I like watching Premier League on Sunday mornings.
Okay.
I always love to start my Sunday with a good Premier League, Premier League action. And because we live in 2022, I can watch what game they're going on TV, or I can just cast a better game. And it's a lot of fun. So I did not love having to not watch it so I watched it on my phone, but it definitely wasn't the same. Soccer without commentary is pretty weird. So where do we want to start? What do we want to start for this week?
Let's start with Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants. The Giants are 5.5-point home underdogs. The Giants have not played poorly enough to be 5.5-point home underdogs.
I said it last week right from the jump. You said it too. 8.5 was too much. I won big on 8.5. Brought my wife a brand new phone off 8.5, so thank you for that. But 5.5 is still too high. This Giants team, this is how I described them, and you can tell me I'm stupid if you want to or whatever. They're not good. They're not very good, but they're good enough to beat you. They're just good enough to beat you.
I think we both agree that the Ravens are a better team than the Packers.
Yep.
And that late heroics from Lamar could muck this one up a little. But with that said, if I'm playing this, which this isn't one of the ones I'm playing, I'm taking the 5.5 and the Giants.
Yep.
So
yeah, I'm just gonna say, I'm negative on the Giants. You guys all know that. But they've almost gotten me to a point where I'm like, okay, maybe there's something here.
I think that this is like I feel like even playing teams like the Ravens and the Giants and even playing teams like the Ravens and the Packers this week, even the most skeptical of New York fans are probably like, well, I'm not betting against my team.
Right. And I think what's crazy and Daniel Jones looks good enough. He looks good enough to not replace, I'd say at this point. But this team's not very
for this game is quote unquote only quote unquote major injury is Kenny Galladay. And let's be honest, stop pretending that he's really a part of the Giants at this point, right?
I mean, I have just as many touchdown catches with the New York Giants as Kenny Galladay.
Yeah, so does JJ too.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad, but I'm thinking Brian Daboll might just be one heck of a coach.
Yep.
I'm pretty excited, and I'm asking as a Giant fan to go ahead and lock that man into a Nick Saban contract. Just tell him, 10 years, whatever you want. That's what we'll pay you. 10 years and whatever you want.
Right now, Coach of the Year candidate, right?
Oh, hands down. I mean, they're good. I do think that Lamar is very talented.
That's the only reason why we're not actually saying anything definite about this game, because Lamar Jackson is the type of player who he's one of a very small handful of players that you could see performing any miracle in any game. Right.
And, if the Giants are stuffing the run, you can say Lamar might be able to pass for it. If they're stopping the pass, Lamar can run for it. Yep. So it's like he just has too much to ever bet against him. I don't like to ever even consider the idea of betting against Baltimore, just because Lamar's got that he's got that ability in him that he can absolutely break a game all by himself.
Yep. And I guess that leads to a very that leads to the props as far as this goes. And frankly, when it comes down to it, his rushing total at 59.5 is a little high in my opinion, but his passing total at 209.5 is a very easy way to play Lamar this game. So that way, if you don't want, when I look at this game, I'm taking the points with the Giants, but I'm also saying that Lamar Jackson's the only player that I trust completely to be able to hit what he needs to hit. Though with that said, 73.5 is a very low number for Saquon. Would you be playing that Saquon number?
I would be. I like Lamar's. I also like Lamar's. I mean, 209. When you really think about it, man, that's not really that bad. Because Lamar is more than capable of hitting a 50-yard bomb, and that gets you 25% of the points you need. My hesitation with any player prop against the Giants at this point is what's actually been the money maker for this team. They are controlling the clock. That's why I think it's almost irresponsible to take a Lamar over here. Okay. Because there's a chance. Because what was it last week? They held the ball for 9 minutes.
Yep.
That is ridiculous.
Part of the only reason why, and I get it, that the story hasn't been that the Ravens have been doing this as far as controlling, as far as the defense that the Ravens defense has not lived up to the preseason billing, but we know they have the talent. So it's one of those things where if they can turn it on, they can balance that time of possession. And the other thing to remember too is Baltimore is a ball control team too.
Right. So I actually, I'm never going to take it, but would you mind telling the good people what the over-under for this game is?
Oh, the over-under for this game is at 45.5. And no, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it hitting, so I'm not going to play the under. Also, I don't like unders. But I can really see that, this being a game where you look at one point the Giants have had one possession and the Ravens have one possession, and that's the end of the quarter.
Yeah. This is
So,
a backdoor, this could be broken with a backdoor 27-21. It could also be a very efficient game where the teams are going on 8-minute drives back and forth. And it's like, haha, we've had 5 drives this game halfway through the fourth quarter.
And not for nothing, in case you do care, because I know some people care. So let me give you all the information. Return to the country, and he will.
One more time, you're freezing.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so I was saying the Giants punter has returned to the country and will be active and playing on Sunday.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if you were following that. He almost didn't make it back.
I was following it to an extent. So
yep.
All right, moving right along. We have gone to the Jets Packers. Once again, in the show, I'm gonna try to actually give either an over under or a versus spread for every game. So I'm switching that up to myself to be a little more organized. But the Packers home 7.5 point favorites. Again, I'm not saying the Packers won't win. I'm just saying that 7.5 is a lot to cover at this current point in time. And this Jets team's kind of making me believe a little. So not one of my final picks by any of the stretch, but give me the Jets plus 7.5.
Jets plus 7.5. So are the Jets better than the Giants?
I mean, I don't, let's see, power rankings for the NFL has the Giants around 14 and the Jets around 17 or something like that.
So if the Giants just beat Green Bay by 7, wouldn't you almost have to take the Jets with the 7.5?
Well,
because
you have to factor in it's number one, there's a London game. Number two, we now are going back to we're now trying to go back in time to find when's the last time Rodgers lost back-to-back games. When LaFleur has lost back-to-back games. We have to go with there are some storylines like the LaFleur brothers are both in this game, correct?
I think so.
So
I think I heard that somewhere.
There is a chance that well, I'm just gonna flat out say it. Packers pass rush is much better than the Dolphins pass rush. There's a chance that Zach Wilson is a tad more prone to the turnover this game. So there are things that make me not want to say the Jets definitely win, but 7.5 is too much.
Yeah, 7.5 is a lot here. 7.5 is a whole lot here.
It's also enough to, like I said, if the pass rush, Rashawn Gary, so on and so forth, Preston Smith, that's enough to make me not want to play anything Zach Wilson. But I'm guessing there's a chance that you want to play Zach Wilson.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
And the reason I'm good is just because I'm not sure, like, how angry are the Packers, and if they're real angry, how good are they? So, and I also, again, they're a team that they can drain. We've seen this year they can drain it. The clock can just go away.
Yeah, no. So I will say this much: there's no way that I don't know. I don't know what the exact numbers for the Jets run defense this year, but I don't think that that they're containing Aaron Jones to 59.5 yards rushing on this game. Aaron Jones has clearly been the one. Not it's not this team has 2 1As. It's Aaron Jones is the guy. in Green Bay. So it's one of those things where the 59.5 could easily happen with the Jets still winning by multiple scores. And then when I'm looking at some receiving props really quick, I'm really thinking that this feels like Corey Davis has just been a bigger part of the offense than a lot of us thought he would be, right?
I only see what the red zone gives me of the Jets games and stats, so none of that really runs out to me. But I'll take your word for it because I know you're watching the entire game.
Yeah, so it's I like Corey Davis on over 36.5 passing yards. And don't get me wrong, it's and actually I think DraftKings is catching up to it because Corey Davis 36.5, Elijah Moore 38.5, Garrett Wilson 44.5. I think DraftKings has noticed what a lot of Jets fans are probably noticing. Corey Davis is not going to be going away, and Zach Wilson likes throwing to him. So, and anything else for that game or no?
No, I got nothing else.
Okay, moving right along. We have Tampa Bay at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers are a 9.5-point home underdog. Everyone's healthy in Tampa Bay now, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Is Julio Jones?
He's still questionable.
Yeah, let's see if he has something though. Julio Jones. Okay, so Julio Jones is not on the list, but Mike Evans, I see Chris Godwin, I see Leonard Fournette, I see Russell Gage, I don't know. It's Tom Brady could be getting old, and the Steelers team is still just terrible.
Yeah, that's what it is for me. It's like Brady could not be as good as he used to be. He might have more passing yardages with iPads than with footballs, but he's still. I mean, this is still Pittsburgh, and they're not enjoyable.
I'm taking the Bucks. I'm laying the 9.5. This is one of the ones that I might even play. Like, you know how I normally say if it's 10 or over, I play it. And if it's in that 9 range, I avoid it because it's in the 9 range and not the 10 range for a reason. I'm breaking my rule here because this feels just like a smash to me. And really, it pairs very nicely with Leonard Fournette receiving yards because that's what happens with an aging Brady. Leonard Fournette gets a lot of receiving yards. It catches a lot of passes. So we're just going to go with a very shockingly low over 27.5 for Fournette as far as receiving yards. How about you?
I think Tampa Bay wins this easy. So I'm going to take the Tampa Bay minus 9.5. This is another game where Kenny Pickett, I think, what is Kenny Pickett? Isn't he like 217?
Kenny Pickett is at 217, and Kenny Pickett's at 235.5. But he threw for over 300 last week.
Right. Yeah, that's why I was going to say I think Pickett's too low. But I don't know. I mean, he's going to have to throw the football a whole lot this game in order to keep up.
My biggest issue is that we know that Bucs secondary is good and that they just have a way to stop drives. So may I suggest something? If you like Kenny Pickett, you clearly like you clearly like his favorite target, right? Who would be George Pickens, right?
Yeah.
And the George Pickens number is much more attainable at 45.5.
I like that.
So that's a way of showing some support for Pickett by playing the 45.5 for Pickens instead, without the risk of Mike Edwards, Antoine Winfield Jr. and company doing what they do.
Right.
And we don't have any tackle totals for any of those guys. We don't have I don't know. There hasn't been an IDT prop yet for any of these games. I'm sure there will be somewhere down the line. So, anything further to say on that Tampa Bay Pittsburgh Steelers game?
No.
All right, moving right along, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are 4.5-point home underdogs. Oh, man. Like, the 49ers are such a better team than the Atlanta Falcons. But
Mhm.
Atlanta finds a way to backdoor cover every single game. And the 49ers find a way to play bad opponents close sometimes. I can't stand this because, like, you can't play the over-under in this game because both of these teams have shown flashes of offense and either decent or great defense.
Yeah.
Uh,
And also, they've both shown you that their offense can sputter a lot.
yeah, I mean, you dominate the Rams, which I get the Rams aren't as good as they
Mhm.
were last year, and you lose to the Bears. And I get that was in a monsoon, but this 49ers team, though really good, is radically inconsistent. And I'm just gonna say it. If forced to take something, I'm taking Atlanta plus the 4.5. Do you agree with that? The Falcons have just kind
No,
of been bad for doing this, right?
so if you're forcing me to play something, I'm going to take the Niners minus the 5.5.
Okay.
I think the Debo Samuel of it all is there. Brandon Ayuk, I'm looking for a big game out of Ayuk, something more than like the 32 for like 6 targets last week.
Yeah.
So, and then Kittle needs to come back alive a little bit more. So I'm thinking
Well, I
big
mean,
game.
Kittle's playing great. Is playing a great right tackle right
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, you don't get offensive line points for a tight end.
now. We need someone give us offensive line fantasy points. Just
Mm.
do it. We need offensive line fantasy points. We need pancake blocks, and we need some sort of points per non-pressure percentage. I'm sure one of you geeks in fantasy land knows how to, not geeks, one of you nerds in fantasy land knows how to do this. Make it
Mm.
happen. I will transfer every one of my leagues over to your site. uh But yeah, so we have some rushing receiving props. So are you now when you mentioned Debo before, are you Debo running back or you Debo receiver this game?
Debo receiver. I'm always Debo receiver.
Okay, so for me, Debo running back at 16.5, this looks really low. So
Yeah.
uh So I'm gonna take the easy way out and go 16.5. But you're going over the 60.5 for
Yeah.
Debo as receiving goes, and it's a very easily one to do. Easy, not easily. Woo. Let's see. I can't trust the Falcons running back this game. Just Jeff Wilson Jr. 65.5 looks kind of tempting. Uh, you said Ayuk over 30, over 36. The 49 number, is that something that's going to make you stray away from it?
No,
No.
but that could also be because I'm too heavily invested in Ayuk in every league I'm in. So
We
it
still
could be.
don't know if we're going to have Kyle Pitts yet in this game, so that's going to affect anything with Drake London. Um, though I'm not even sure that how much that affects, because really when it comes down to it, Marcus Mariota on 199 passing yards feels like a solid under. I'm not going to play that under, but Marcus Mariota on 1.5 touchdown passes is definitely an under I'm going to play. I'm sick of this Falcons offense at this point in time. We should be seeing Desmond Ridder at this point in time. That's all. That I'm not going to tangent off of that. We saw Matt Rule lose his job last week. Let's see Arthur Smith lose it this week.
I mean, I don't like when people get fired. It makes me sad.
Oh, okay. But you also don't like when they destroy a team. That makes me sad, right?
Yeah, but so yeah, we can. I think we can move on to the next one, right?
Yeah, Minnesota at the Miami Dolphins. Skylar Thompson, woo! Dolphins are 3-point home dogs. You trust Minnesota? Do you believe Minnesota's a good team, or are they just taking advantage of a bad situation?
I think Minnesota's a fair team. Uh, they're one of those teams that I think are in the league this year that are just so average, and that.
Yeah,
But it is what it is. I mean, you
just
get
your
average.
average 4-1 team, right?
No, like your average 3-2 or 2-3. The whole league is at 2-2, 2-3, and 3-2, basically.
Wait, aren't they 4-1?
The Vikings, I think, are, but
Okay.
yeah, my point is they're just one of your average teams. They're not. I don't think they're anything special. But they're better than Skylar. What's the last name? Skylar. What?
I'm pretty sure it's Skylar Thompson. But I'm double checking that really. Yeah, Skylar Thompson. I had it right the first time around.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and keep your Skylar Thompson. I'm just not gonna go that way.
You're just gonna not go that way. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are still there. I know Waddle's been down the last couple of weeks. It looked like, Skylar Thompson wasn't expecting to play that last game. Like,
Right.
I think for me, this all comes down to I don't actually view Tua as an elite quarterback. I think the weapons around him are elite, and that this level of weapon, with the ease of use that comes with using a Tyreek Hill or a Jalen Waddle, because it's literally complete a short pass and have them do the work.
That
Um,
is all that it is. Yeah.
and I'm not trying to oversimplify it either, because I realize it's much more complicated than that. But at the same time, it's because I'm still not 100% sold on Tua, and I am sold on the Dolphins offense. I think things could get a little bit tricky for Minnesota this game.
Okay.
With that said, it's not like they don't have a person on the other end who could just literally say, "No, this is my game," and embarrass Xavier Howard. So really, when it comes down to it, we've seen what Mike McDaniels is able to do as a head coach offensive wise, but we've also seen that his defense has underperformed this year. You want to make a statement to get people to believe that you're an elite team again, and that you can make a serious push once Tua is back. Shut down Justin Jefferson this game.
Yeah. You shut down Justin Jefferson, and you got a real thing going on there.
Yeah, so I'm just I don't know it. And we've seen it happen twice this year. And we know that if with the right packages of that secondary, whether it's Brandon Jones or Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, Javon Holland, we know that they have talent in that secondary. So for me, this is I'm exercising caution in this game. They've come off of back-to-back bad losses. And I think the Dolphins I'm taking the Dolphins +3.
All right, I'll take the. You want to lock in on this one, and we go head to head?
No, because there's so many dogs that I like this week. There's so many dogs. Like, I feel more comfortable about the Jets and the Giants than I do about the Dolphins.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm going Minnesota minus the 3. I think Jefferson and then that running back tandem that they've got going on right now is too good. And Thielen's also fun. Don't forget Adam Thielen.
Yep. Now, this is one of those games. If I am going to play it, I'm probably going to hedge on the other side and play a Justin Jefferson over game. A little.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where.
One thing I will say about this game is if Tua is playing, I'm not on Minnesota, but I'm not on Miami. If Tua ends up playing, I'm just going to go ahead and avoid it.
Interesting. Okay. As far as the prop goes, Raheem the Dream Mostert? No, not really. Dalvin Cook has been disappointing. Wow. I think that because Tyreek Hill is such a safety net, any way you look at it, that Tyreek Hill at 63.5 is still a very obtainable number, regardless of who's throwing. Would you agree with that statement?
I would. And for my prop, I forgot the name of the Dolphins kicker. What's his name?
Jason Sanders.
That's right. His over/under is at 6.5 for total player points. So that's extra
Taking a
points
lot
and
of
field
field
goals.
goals this game.
Yeah, that's extra points and field goals. I thinking 3 field goals is not out of the question. So I'm going to take a kicker over.
And as far as these quarterback numbers, I'm not touching them because if the Miami defense gets figured out, the 259 for Kirk Cousins is not going to happen. And Skylar Thompson is a third string quarterback. Let's not play anything on him. So all right, moving right along, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are 3-point home underdogs. Okay, I'm always really far off on the Saints, and I 100% get there is no. Oh, no, I know why this line is the way it is. There's no Marshawn Lattimore to cover Jamar Chase. There's no Michael Thomas.
And
No Jarvis Landry.
yeah,
This is Chris Olave versus the whole Bengals offense. Alvin Kamara's there, but Andy Dalton is. Woo! Okay, never mind. I was going to say something about this line being off, but then I realized, oh no, the Saints are without like half their team.
yeah,
Pretty easy to lay Bengals -3.
pretty easy until you remember we got a guy named Taysom Hill who I picked up in 2 separate leagues last week and got 34 points. So back to back weeks, a late Sunday morning pickup comes out to really hurt my opponent.
It is absolutely beautiful. Speaking of random players who are going to who we like playing totals on, because this game is more fun when you're playing it on a random player. Wait, are you serious? I can't play Marcus Callaway? Oh, I was fully prepared to play Marcus Callaway. I am going to play him. Like, he'll have something listed by Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I like this game though. I like it for Chase though. I like a big game for Jamar Chase here.
Yeah. Yeah, and 80.5 is not going to stray me off of 80.5 is not low enough. By the way, I am 100% serious about playing Callaway because Andy Dalton likes Callaway. I saw that at least a little during the London game. I didn't check anything last week, but I know they had a I know they their receiver look has been changing every single week, and I think he was hurt last week too. But I'm definitely on that when it happens. But Chase over 80.5 is definitely something that's going to happen too. And we don't have anything listed for T. Higgins yet. Is this a Kamara continue to get right over 30.5 receiving yards?
I don't know. I'm going to avoid anything for Saints because I think they might have figured out that they're better as a gimmick team than as a real team. And if that is the case and they are going to go gimmick style offense, that makes all the players have incredible fantasy value and incredibly low floors as well. But it also makes them all impossible to bet props on.
Well, you say it makes them impossible to bet props on, but we actually have a pretty decent IDP list on the Saints this week. So really, when it comes down to it, we're going to see if this offense does explode early and they get ahead. We're going to see a lot of Joe Mixon because we've seen a lot of Joe Mixon all year. Any way you look at it, the Bengals are force feeding him, and has been reasonably inefficient in all but the last game. So he has a lot of runs that are stopping in that 3 to 4 yard range, and that's a great area for Demario Davis to clean up and get 5.5 tackles. I would love Pete Werner this game too, but at 8.5, it's a little harder to say. Yeah, 100%. I love that. So give me a Demario Davis over 5.5 tackles. The other way going, again, I don't know. Like, could play a Logan Wilson's not on here. I know Logan Wilson's playing. Interesting. Okay. I'll avoid Bengal tackle totals.
Okay.
All right, moving right along. We have the New England. Oh, anything final to say about that? Was there any of these over-unders for these games that you were interested in?
Not necessarily. I think they're all pretty well placed this week.
Okay. Moving right along, New England Patriots at the Cleveland Browns. Browns are 2.5-point home favorites. Even with Bailey Zappi, the Patriots are a better team.
Yeah, they are. I don't really know what to say about the Browns. They're just not good. But
I mean, Nick Chubb is good.
I was gonna say Nick Chubb, but they got Nick Chubb.
And Amari Cooper's had good weeks. Myles Garrett has been a little underwhelming this year.
Except for his sack on Baker, still my highlight of the year.
Yeah. It's let's start with some pro Brown stuff really quick. Nick Chubb has continued to extend his streak of 110 yards rushing every single week. So why would he not go over 91.5 this week, right? I know Bill likes to take away big weapons, but Bill could also be like, yeah, we're just going to give you Nick Chubb and take away everybody else.
Can you really take away Nick Chubb if you're New England? Are you good enough to take away Nick Chubb? More are you better to?
I think you're good enough to take away everything but Nick Chubb and just force Nick Chubb to have a 3-touchdown game.
Which is the first player this year to have a 3-touchdown game.
Yeah, no, I get it, but we've also seen the Patriots run game come on a little more of late. We've seen some consistency. Like Jacoby Myers continues to be probably the most underrated receiver in football, and Zappi hasn't looked bad.
Oh, he had a good game.
So I will be taking the Patriots minus the 2.5. No, plus the 2.5. Wow. I probably would take it minus, to be completely honest. And I will also be taking the Chubb over 91.5 yards. And beyond that, I'm not comfortable playing too much else as far as this goes. Are you comfortable playing anything besides potentially Chubb?
Not really, because I don't want to have to pay attention to it. Nick Chubb is the only player I have in fantasy from either of these two teams, and I don't want to have to pay attention to a game that I only have one player going in.
Fair enough. Let's just want to see a Ramondre Stevenson rushing total. Because we don't fully know if Damian Harris is back yet, I guess. I thought Damian Harris was confirmed out. We don't have any Patriots running back listed at this current point in time. So, all right, moving right along. We're doing mediocre as far as time goes. So, Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 2.5-point home favorites. They lost this game in Jacksonville earlier this year. They gave up. They couldn't stop Christian Kirk that game, if memory serves me correct. So, I think the Jaguars are a better team than the Colts. I also don't think that we know much about this game until we know Jonathan Taylor, whether or not Jonathan Taylor is playing. And I get it. Jonathan Taylor has been wonderfully mediocre this week. But I think the difference in having him on the field and not having him on the field is huge. And I don't know. Like I don't think I know. I said I would try to say something about every single game, as far as either a winner or an over under for the points. But when someone as monster as Jonathan Taylor isn't confirmed one way or another, I'm going to take a pass on that. I'm not going to, I'm not going to play it. I would say that if you're like in a weekly or something like that, you have to you have to get it in as late as possible to see if Jonathan Taylor is confirmed or not, because I think that's a difference between the Colts covering and the Colts not covering, right?
No.
No,
The
you
Colts
think the
are
Jaguars win either way?
the Colts are winning either way.
You think the Colts win either way? Oh, give us the Colts case. Do it.
It's real hard to beat the same team twice, and it's real hard to beat a good team twice.
Are the Colts a good team?
Without
Calling them that now?
I think the Colts are a well-rounded team that's not very consistently good, but I like them. I think the Colts are good. I don't like their quarterback. They definitely could have done better there. But I like Michael Pittman if Jonathan Taylor is playing. And if Jonathan Taylor is not playing, I really like Michael Pittman. But I want the Colts.
So you're on Michael Pittman over the 65.5. Yeah, you know what? And there's a good chance that Taylor's going to play. So I guess at this point in time right now, only having to give up the field goal to -2.5. I'm done with you. I am curious as to why there's no Alec Pierce even total. Is there something that happened to him this week that we don't know about?
No, I think Alec Pierce is a lot like what I was going to say about the Patriots. He's too contingent upon other injuries. So the Patriots don't have anybody listed for player props because there's a chance Mac Jones is playing.
Okay.
So I think that's the same type of thing over there. Is just if Jonathan Taylor is playing, Pierce's value is a lot lower, right?
Is that fair to say that a rookie wide receiver's value is lower just when it's been going up steadily over the course of the last 3 weeks?
I would say it's fair, but who am I? I mean, I'm a Pierce owner in some weeks, so I do want him to do well, but I'm not there yet. Not with him. He's still a bench and kind of like a bench and stash kind of guy for me.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think I believe in Alec Pierce to an extent, but again, I think this game does come down to whether or not Jonathan Taylor plays, but I could understand somebody playing the Colts now, anticipating that he plays. Is that weird? Do you hear that weird sound on your end?
I hear a metallic echo sometimes, but not all the time, but just sometimes.
Okay, is it me or is it you? It's probably me, right?
I don't know. Do you hear it when I talk or just when you talk?
It's me. Okay, let's move along and I'll finagle a little bit in between. We have the Carolina Panthers at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are 10-point. Rams shouldn't be favored against anyone except for maybe Carolina. Rams shouldn't be favored by 10 points against anyone except maybe Carolina.
So I'm actually a fan of the Panthers plus the 10 here.
I am too.
That sound is better though. So PJ Walker, I thought PJ Walker was good in the USFL or AAF, whichever one of the offshoots he was in.
I think it was AAF, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, he was a Houston Rough Rider, and I thought it was entertaining there. I like him. I think he's got a big arm with some good legs. Is he a quarterback that I'm building a franchise around? No. Oh, goodness, no. But is he better than Baker and Darnold? Probably. You have to wonder how much longer CMC's a Panther, though, right? Like, you've got to be looking at possibly moving him to a contender because you're not getting any.
DJ Moore, Brian Burns.
Yeah, you got to be looking at moving people now, right?
Jeremy Chin, Xavier Woods. Yeah, no, there's this seems like the time you blow up and you restart.
Exactly, yeah. It just seems like something you need to get away from.
Yep. So with that said, I think now that Rule is gone and now that Baker's out of the lineup, we're going to see that breakout game for DJ Moore this season. So I'm all over the 52.5.
So for me, here's the thing. I don't bet on, against, or on any player from the team whose coach just got fired.
Okay.
Because it could either light a fire under the team and they perform like exceptionally well, or morale is really down and they just realize the season's over and I'm not going to put my body on the line for something that's not going to reward me. Cooper Kupp, though, Cooper Kupp is in the high 90s, right? I think it was like 94, 95.
93 and a half.
Yeah. That's not a bad total for me.
So this is my issue with Cooper Kupp. I have played him twice. Those were the 2 weeks he was under. I don't know what to do. Like, everything inside of me is screaming, play the guy. Yep. And I really don't like the Rams, so I'm going to play him and to jinx them. But yeah, no, it definitely feels right. So Kupp at 93 and a half, I will endorse that also. And I don't know what's going on with my recording. Is it this? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
That was not good sound.
Yeah, I can hear you. You good?
All right. Is this better?
This is better.
Okay, good. Wow, my mic is giving some issues today. All right. Do we have anything else to say about that game? I wonder if we have any tackle totals or anything. I'm just looking at it. And my mic is being awful.
No, I think, I don't really do tackle totals, so I rely on you for that one.
Fair. All right, moving right along, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are 2.5-point home underdogs, and why? Like, I'm really curious as to why Seattle is not the favorite versus Arizona Cardinals. I would question it if the Arizona Cardinals were home. Yeah, these Seahawks are better than these Cardinals, right?
The Seahawks are better than the Cardinals, yes.
And they're playing in Seattle. I don't know. It seems like a no-brainer to me to play the Seahawks +2. Honestly, this is a week where it's harder to find favorites that I like than it is to find underdogs that I like. Whereas last week it was the complete opposite. Looking at this game, yeah, give us some stuff that you like about this game.
I like Geno Smith. I think Geno's for real. We talked about it last week. He did it again. I think Geno's for real. I think DK's for real. Seattle's a fun team, and Arizona's bad. And unfortunately for them, they play in that 4:00 window where there's only 3 games going on at once, so everybody gets to see that you're not good.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I am. That's just where I am with Arizona. It's hard to even consider taking them in anything when I know that means that I'm banking on them to be able to perform and do their job, and I can't give them that kind of a credit.
DraftKings is telling you all you need to know about these two quarterbacks. Geno Smith is projected for more passing yards than Kyler Murray.
Wow.
And suddenly I have a whole bunch of locks for this game. Because that is currently changing. I'll tell you something that's not going to be changing though. Yeah, I'm 100% in on you with believing in DK Metcalf. And I don't know. 72.5. I'm playing Metcalf. Are you?
No, I'm not going to play Metcalf. I'm going to play Geno though. And I'm actually thinking more of a Tyler Lockett. This might be more Tyler Lockett.
Okay.
But so I'm just avoiding both wide receivers, but I'm going to take Geno.
And I'll tell you who I'm also playing. No James Conner, no Darrell Williams. Eno Benjamin over 27.5 receiving yards, 100%. Like, give me some Eno Benjamin this game. Like, it's funny because even have him up at 60.5 rushing yards. And I was like, okay, 60.5 is about where I think that he could potentially, my thought was 60 rushing, 40 rushing, 100 on for the Cardinals because we know they use running back. I'm like, well, I'm not going to play the number close. I'm going to play the number close. And I can't stand listening to me talk right now. Does it sound really bad on that end too?
It's not as bad when you sit up closer.
It's not as bad when I sit up closer.
Yeah, so every time you keep falling back towards your couch, it gets pretty rough.
Okay, so this is better. Oh wow, this is a lot better. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, what else you have for this game? Are you ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah, I'm ready to move on to the next one. So we have the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs, the game that we've all been waiting for. Someone ran this one by me earlier this week. I think it was Dave. Yeah, and he's kind of like, man, what do you feel about the Kansas City Chiefs being home underdog at +3 and at +3? And I'm kind of like the Buffalo Bills are a drastically superior team.
Yeah, what I want to say first and foremost is screw you, Travis Kelce.
Oh no.
I mean, I didn't know if obviously that's good, but hey, great, and you still owe me a video, jerk. But I played against him in another league, and it definitely cost me the win. So I at one point had like a 92% win rate probability, and as the game kept going, that kept decreasing. And Kelsey just 4 touchdowns for like 30 yards. Good for you, Travis.
Yeah, no, that was. You know what that final stat line was like? It was the stat line of your fullback when you were playing Madden.
Yeah. So, but how do people the over/under for this game?
As far as the over/under goes, yeah, 54. It definitely feels like something like over. Though I have seen these teams both. No, it's over 54. I'm not even gonna pretend.
Right, and this is the Sunday night game, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
This better be the Sunday night game. No, it's 4 p.m. This is America's game of the week, and for good reason. There's a better game on Sunday night.
So I'm really excited about this game. Though 54, though, I think it's really low. So I'm jumping all over that. I just think these two teams combined, like put them together, yeah, 54 is falling pretty quickly. This is a third quarter.
Absolutely a revenge game for the 13-second comeback. I think this game looks a lot more like the game where and scores on every single one.
Yeah, I could see it, and I think 54 though. I don't know if you caught it. I said that falls in the third quarter. Yeah. I really think this game. This is the 60, 65, 70 point game.
Give me Allen over 2.5. Give me Allen over 297.5. Give me Allen over over every single thing passing as and then give me Diggs over too. On whatever he is. I know Dawson Knox is back this week, so Isaiah McKenzie's back. So I'm not going to be playing where is Stephon Diggs? Oh, there he is. And Diggs over 87.5. I'm convinced that the Buffalo Bills are going to ball this game. I'm convinced that the Buffalo Bills, whatever the score, is going to go over. The only reason why I'm not as confident about it going over in the third quarter is because I think there's a chance that the Buffalo Bills defense also gets revenge.
Okay.
And that's why I'm not playing anything off of Kansas City until I make that wonderfully spectacular same game parlay that's in the fail.
for the good people listening, it's almost without fail every single Sunday. John and I will text each other a additional wager at the end of the end of the 1 o'clock window, and it's I don't think it's because either of us are chasing anything or any of that. I think it's because we're just both like, yeah, well, lost all those games, so let's put down another couple bucks.
It really just comes down to, it's like, oh, I have a free bet. Yay!
Yeah.
I'm gonna use it on a ridiculous parlay that I think has a chance of hitting, but I know it's not realistic at all. So, and you know what it is? It's fun to put together. It's fun to put together, and then somebody gets injured on the second play of the game, and it's like, oh shucks. Not trying to make light of someone getting injured on the second play of the game, but I'm just saying it ends pretty quickly.
So what is our lovely Sunday night football game?
Oh, I will be at one cheap prop. I do like Nick Bolton over the 8.5 this game.
Okay.
As far as tackles go, I think that as a guy who is going to be more than likely shadowing Josh Allen, that he'll probably get 8.5 tackles on Josh Allen this game. So our Sunday night football game is the only game that could have been better than Buffalo, Kansas City this week. That is Dallas Cowboys versus Philadelphia Eagles for first place in the NFC East, right?
No, nuh-uh. If they tie, and the Giants win, Philly's in first place. So I'm just saying, there's a chance that Dallas wins this. If Dallas and the Giants, no, because Dallas would win off the head-to-head, right? Yep. So I guess for first place, but ultimately, this division is really good. Why is this division so good?
Well, Jalen Hurts, Micah Parsons, and TBD.
This is the division that just like 2 years ago, we were like laughing so hard at everybody in the NFC East.
Actually, it's not even TBD. It's Jalen Hurts, Micah Parsons, and Saquon Barkley, right?
Daniel Jones in London was absolutely stellar.
Yeah, but if we're talking about the ones who have been consistently great every single week,
Yeah, I mean, so what's the spread? The over/under? What do you got?
Oh, as far as this goes, Eagles are 6.5-point home favorites, and to be completely honest, I could 100% see the Eagles winning this game. I could 100% see them controlling it the whole way. I could 100% see them dominating this game at points in times, and still not covering 6.5 in the end. The Cowboys defense is that good. You want to prove that you're the best team in the NFL, Philadelphia? Put up 30. It's pretty simple. Put up 30.
So they put up 30. The Bills put up 30 and beat the Chiefs, and you're going to say Philly's better than the Bills?
I think that I think okay, Philly versus Buffalo. What do you if Philly scores 31 points on the Dallas defense? Is Philly not in the conversation with Buffalo?
Oh, they're in the conversation, but I'm not saying that they're better if Buffalo puts up 30 and beats Kansas City. But let's get back to the game at hand because we got to be conscious of time here. What do you like here?
I love Jalen Hurts versus Micah Parsons. Honestly, I don't need to play anything on the game. I'm going to enjoy watching that matchup the whole night. So let me see if I'm going to take the Cowboys plus 6.5. Just because I also think that we're starting to get to the point in time where Philly is getting closer to their first loss at the very least. And I'm going to be starting with the defensive props to check to see what we're actually getting here. I 100% believe in Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, but I think this is Parsons' game. And the fact that Parsons is still under a sack at 0.75, I 100% believe that Parsons is going to get into that backfield and get that sack off of Hurts. I also believe that there will be times where Hurts is going to have to run for his life, that he's going to narrowly evade the Cowboys pass rush, and he's going to go for over the 48.5 yards rushing.
Okay.
And will score the touchdown at some point in time this game on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I jumped on him last week because his touchdown was like plus 275.
Yeah.
I think they're getting smarter that Hurts is going to be able to score touchdowns. And so it's not quite that lucrative anymore, but it's still a good bet. It's still a very profitable money line.
And give me over 4.5 tackles from Micah Parsons also. I think that we're going to see these two superstars that are literally going to be lined up on each other both ball this game.
Yeah, so what do you like anything else or
I'm going to leave it at that because really I think this game is 100% about Hurts versus Parsons.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, I like Hurts. I like Hurts to win that bet. So I like Philly, but I'm not taking -6.5 here. I'm going to throw this in as a sweetener on some parlays, and I'm just gonna go with Philly straight up on the money line.
I actually like that, but I like Philly money line better than I like playing Cowboys plus 6.5 because I think it's a safer way to play this. So I 100% agree with you as far as that goes. Yeah, but on this over under, what are you feeling?
Who wins the ball game? Who sets the tone? Because Philly's got a good defense too. So if Philly's defense is setting the tone, then Dallas's defense I think matches, and I think we got a low scoring game. Now if Philly says, okay, we're going to let our offense control the tempo here, then I think Dallas has to keep up pace, and I like over. So it's which one do you think wins out? Which is the coaching strategy here? Is it the scoring points?
I believe that Philly wins the game. Like we both covered that before, but I think Dan Quinn is making an incredibly strong case for whatever assistant coach of the year award there is, and he becomes the top candidate for getting his second head coaching job in the offseason. I don't think you can set the tone versus the Cowboys defense. I believe this Cowboys defense will always be setting the tone.
Okay.
This looks like a 20-17 Philadelphia win to me.
All right. I mean, I'll allow it. But what do you got for Monday?
Monday Night Football. We have Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers have underperformed this season significantly, and the Broncos just are imposters. They were pretending to be a good NFL team in the offseason, and they're pretending to be an NFL team right now.
Yeah, I think they're not good. I think the Chargers head coach is the worst head coach in football.
But I think the Chargers have way too much talent to. I don't think Austin Eckler and Justin Herbert need a good head coach in order to beat the Denver Broncos. In order to embarrass the Denver Broncos.
No Manning cast either.
Yes.
So what is my incentive to watch the game with Joe Buck, who I absolutely despise?
I mean, there is no game about halfway through the third quarter anymore. So I would say enjoy whatever you enjoy on a Monday night at that point in time. Like this, I don't know. This has every making of a Chargers blowout for me. Austin Eckler has clearly corrected the ship. So minusing the 4.5 is incredibly easy. I'm playing an Austin Eckler over. I'm playing a Justin Herbert over. And do I get a defensive prop to pull off the trifecta? Here, give me something. Give me a Derwin James. Give me something with Derwin James. I just want to play the big three.
Okay.
But we do not have defense special teams props for this game. They just don't exist.
Yeah, it's pretty far out. It is really pretty far out for a game for a Monday night game.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll take a quarterback prop, and we'll have Russell Wilson over his interception total.
Okay.
Because,
So,
so where is the Russell Wilson interception total? It's at 0.5. So Wilson INT. Let's go with a rushing total of Austin Eckler over 59.5. Let's also take him with a receiving total over. We can't play his receiving totals yet because we still don't know Keenan Allen yet. And we'll go with a Justin Herbert passing total of over 264.5.
I like the Chargers here, and I don't know what else yet because I got to wait for Keenan Allen.
Yeah, but you like Eckler's rushing total, right? You like an
do.
Eckler anytime touchdown?
No.
No.
I don't like, and then for the Denver side of the football, they've burned me 5 weeks in a row, so I'm not doing anything.
I'm not touching Denver at all. Like, as far as the over under on this game, I'm too concerned that the Chargers win holding the Broncos to like 3 points or 10 points, so I can't play the over.
Okay.
Wow. And yeah, but that's where I'm at as far as this week goes. Anything else you want to say about this game? About this week? Obviously, it's weird because when you view the week 6 bye games, you're always thinking to yourself, "Oh, I see a kitty. I see kitty alert up on his pedestal in your over your shoulder." But it's you wouldn't think that the week with the Detroit Lions, the Houston Texans, the Raiders, so on and so forth, would be a bye week that actually hurts a little. But this is my worst bye week this year.
Yeah, mine too.
So I'm thinking to myself, and part of that's because of the IDP and the like the relevance that Houston has brought to IDP leagues this year. Like they have like 5 starters off their defense. So but with that said, yeah, no, it's we start our bye weeks. Hopefully we're gonna see some people get healthy over the course of them. And yeah, no, and despite that it's the first smaller schedule of the year, I think we actually have a pretty great schedule this week. Any final thoughts on the schedule itself?
No, what are your picks?
All right. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the show. If you like what you heard and or are benefiting from it at all, give it a like, give it a share, put a comment on it, give us a 5-star rating on Apple or Google, and just just reach out to us in the JMO for Real community. Oh wait, Josh has something to say.
We forgot to do our picks.
Oh, we forgot to do our picks.
When I asked you for your picks, that's what I was referring to. We can knock them out real quick because I do have a high school game to get to, but let's give the good people that real quick.
All right. So I'm going to be starting obviously with my favorites. 100%. Give me the Buffalo Bills, and let's make this my super pick this week. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills -6.5. Saying so anything that I'll bump it up from the 3 to because we have to up it at least 2.5. So Bills -6.5 is very easy in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be as close as good of a game as people think it is. I think this is purely a revenge narrative. I'm also going to go with the. Do I really want to be waiting until Monday Night Football? Yeah, I'll wait till Monday Night Football. No, I'm going to take the Bucks. I'm going to take the Bucks -9.5. It's speaking to me right now. Another thing that I will be taking as far as my underdogs go, Yeah, man. Seattle Seahawks should not be an underdog right now. I will take the Seahawks plus the 2.5. It's just I don't think there should be an underdog. Moving along, it's part of me does want to do the head-to-head with you with the Dolphins and whatnot, but yeah, I think the Carolina Panthers respond, and I don't think the Rams should be 10-point favorites. I'll take the Panthers plus the 10. And do I have more love for my Jets or your Giants is the question. And I'm going to go with the bigger spread. So I'm going to take the Jets plus 7.5. Because
So
I don't think the Packers are that much better.
my picks. I'm going to fly through them real quick.
Okay.
I got the Jets plus the 7.5. I want the Tampa Bay Buccaneers minus the 9.5. The 49ers minus the 5.5. Then I want the Browns minus the 2.5. And for my super dog pick, go ahead, give me the New York Giants money line. I'm not just going to give you the 2 points. I'm going to give you all 5.5 points back and give me the Giants to win straight up.
Okay, for my anytime touchdown scorer, I only picked one anytime touchdown scorer in the course of all these games. So give me a Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. What are your touchdown scores?
I have two. I have Jalen Hurts and Nick Chubb.
Yeah, very easy to go Hurts and Chubb, right?
Yeah, so I parlayed the two of them for like a small parlay, but
Okay, I will also be hitting Nick Chubb because until he goes under 110 yards, I'm just gonna play him. So give me some Chubb on 91.5. In addition to that, give me the Micah Parsons sack. That is going to be my IDP awareness moment of this. I don't care if it's against Jalen Hurts. Micah Parsons is a better player overall than Jalen Hurts. Just said it. And then finally, the last prop that I love the most. Let's dig a little and have a little fun with this. I'm gonna go Eno Benjamin over 27.5 receiving yards because I think that's one that not a lot of people are picking.
okay.
How about you?
I'm going Nick Chubb over 91.5. Kenny Pickett over 237.5. Lamar Jackson over 209. And Aaron Jones over 59.5.
So that's Chubb, Pickett, Lamar, and Jones.
Yep.
For anyone who's wondering how we did last week, overall it was a rougher week to pick as a whole. I believe that you ended up 5-7. I ended up 5-4. Playing a little bit of catch up as far as that goes, but our picks are still both going strong for the season. If you want to see more, tune into the Facebook page and give Ethan Shukas a run for his money. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being a part. Remember to join these communities and just like, share, comment, and subscribe. So remember, if you have a problem gambling, seek out help. You can find help on the gambling apps. You can find help easily on Google. Talk to a family member. Talk to a friend. And remember to be responsible with it. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. It works in most states. But remember, be responsible. Only bet what you have. Track your bets as they're going on. I had a wonderful cash out last week because if you're keeping an eye on your bets and something's going awry and you have the ability to go for a good cash out, take the cash out. It's a way to play sometimes. So remember, be responsible and just be courteous and considerate of everyone. So any final closing thoughts from you, Josh?
No, I'm just going to go watch a high school team get blown up by a 6'6" right guard.
A 6'6" right guard. Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, man, how bad do you think the blow up will be? Will it be comparable to what Devontae Adams did to the reporter?